Hello my YouTube friends, this is John at Left Handed Models, and this is going to be an update video on my Saturday night short track car. It's a model of my dad's old race car from 1951 as far as the picture goes. So I'll get right on it. I've got quite a bit done, but still thinking about how to do specifics because there's no interior pictures. And so, being as how it was 1951, it's hard to say, well, did they have seatbelts even? And I can see in the picture that the driver's door was held with a belt wrapped around it twice. So I got to make a little leather belt. So I'll show you what I got done here. So, whoops, this is where I am. If you remember, the body was orange. And in order to shorten up the fenders, because the reference photos I have all show very minimal fenders left, I imagine there was some rule that said it had to be trimmed. I did this with a Dremel, and so it's not very even, but I figured it would have been done with a hacksaw or something like that, 10 snips back then. And so that it would not have been very straight. And I can see these panels in the picture of the other cars that I have. And the hood was shortened on the front, so it'll be shortened. And I'll have to build a front bumper. Oh, I was going to show the way I decided how to cut this off, the fenders and the running board, was I laid tape across it and then drew on it with a pen and then just cut on my line. And that way it was close. I actually did not do any more trimming. I just took away the roughness. Because, you know, if you've ever cut plastic with a Dremel, you have to judge your speed of cutting between melting and cutting. And so there's always this crap left over. Some of the stuff I had to find from other cars, like the rear end, because this car is a street rod, so it didn't have the original rear end or the original engine. I'm still debating on whether or not to put spark plugs on, because the distributor on a flathead, I don't know if that'll even show up. It's right there in the front, so that bulge. And then the spark plug wires would have come out of the very top and ran to the spark plugs. And it's going to be tight in there to get that where I need it because it's still going to have the generator. The generator sits right on top there. And in case you didn't know, these are water pumps. There was one on each head. I don't know why they did that, but since the distributor's in the middle on the end of the cam, I imagine that was a consideration there. The seat and the interior probably would have been a light tan or cream color, because that's what most of them were, was a light color. And so that's what I chose for the seat. Only the bench seat, which I got from that 40 Ford donor car, essentially. I had to find some pedals because the street rod has an automatic, whereas there wouldn't have been an automatic in the race car that Dad had. And so I also had to find a shifter, and it turns out I found one that's at least reasonably correct for that year of Ford. And it's coming together pretty good, except I primered this body and painted it all white before I tape it off and paint the bottom black. I have learned to always do the light color first, but even though I primed it I don't know if this is showing up in the camera or not. I can't really tell, but it's definitely orangey white. So I would imagine I'll have to strip it and then try a different primer. The primer I have is one I've used on real cars, and it's an etching primer, but it doesn't look like it's strong enough. So that remains to be seen. So, but and I brought the picture out again so I can show you this little line right here on the door, and that would be a leather belt. You know, it's hard to see, but I do remember from the mid-50s that's what they were still using. So that way you can unstrap the belt and open the door if you need to. You don't have to crawl in through the window. Although at that age, Dad would have been able to crawl through the window. But anyway, so that's where I am so far. Back to stripping it and primering it again. So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Oh, and this is put on by, let's see, I think Jason. Yes, Jason at Blue Ox Model Shop and Mike at Scale Model Outlaw. And I forgot to say that in my intro. And I'll be including their addresses in my description. And we'll continue on. Thanks for watching.